In verse number 23, mira lo que dice versículo 23. Dice, Jesus answered and said unto him, uh, I'm in Luke 14, Lucas 14. Dice la Biblia, and the Lord said unto the servant, go out into the highways and hedges and compel them to come in, that my house may be filled. Compel. Esa palabra compel, hermanos, en el versículo 23, dice el Señor, ve por los caminos y los vallados y fuérzalos a entrar para que se llene mi casa. There's an invitation, and that word compel basically means to force, obligar. Now, I don't think it means, no significa uh, uh, somebody, but it means to be aggressive. No, el Señor no quiere que seamos pasivos. He doesn't want us to be passive about the issue of bringing people to church. Quiere que seamos agresivos, confrontational. Uh, y la iglesia, there's two routes that the church can take. It's let's let God do it, vamos a dejar que Dios lo haga, and then let's go do it. Y luego nosotros vamos a hacerlo. And the truth is, it's both, son las dos cosas. Dios hace la obra, God does the work, but we have to también hacer nuestra parte, do our part. And so tonight, I want to take that passage, tomar ese pasaje y mirar en el libro de Hechos, in the book of Acts chapter 5, please, Acts chapter 5, how the first church, the primitive church, la iglesia primitiva, tomó este mandato en serio, took this commandment seriously, and how we need to do the same thing as well, hermanos, como nosotros necesitamos hacer la misma cosa. Acts chapter 5, Hechos capítulo 5 y versículo número 28. Ahora tome en cuenta que la iglesia primitiva, the primitive church, did this without technology, sin tecnología, without vehicles. Simplemente siguieron el patrón bíblico. They followed the biblical pattern of going house by house, ir casa por casa y compartir a Cristo, sharing Christ. In Acts chapter 5, Hechos 5, versículo 28, verse number 28, mírenlo por favor, hermanos. I'll read it in English, usted léalo en español. Dice la Biblia, saying, did not we straightly command you that ye should not teach in this name? And behold, ye have filled, notice it, ye have filled Jerusalem with your doctrine. Now, miren eso, hermanos. Habéis llenado a Jerusalén con vuestra doctrina. Aún despite the fact that they were commanded not to do it, they filled Jerusalem with their doctrine. Ahora nosotros no tenemos, we don't have a prohibition, pero el mandato sigue siendo el mismo. The commandment is still the same. And so there's two, quiero a little bit of instruction, maybe, un poquito más de instrucción. Hay dos tipos de tráfico. There's two types of traffic to get people in church. Y si quieren tomar esta noche como more of an instruction time, un tiempo de instrucción, that's fine. A la vez there's a biblical command to do it. Número uno, lo que se le llama natural traffic, tráfico natural. How many people do you think, cuántas personas ustedes creen que entran a la iglesia by themselves, solitos? Just, they drive by and they just come on in. Not many. No muchos. The truth is que in at least in the 3 years that we've been here, maybe 5 people, tal vez 5 personas han entrado, have walked in, and we say, who invited you? ¿Quién lo invitó? And they say, nobody. They just came in. Hardly ever happens. Casi nunca pasa. That's what researchers call natural traffic, or people who come in, who desire, who come in because of God's providence, por la providencia de Dios. In other words, God brings them, Dios lo trae. Okay? And then you have generated traffic, tráfico generado. These are people who are compelled to come in. So, tráfico natural son personas que vienen por Dios, they come from God. Or just on the people that come compelled is people that somebody brought, alguien los trajo a la iglesia. Alguien los forzó a venir. Alguien tuvo que ver. Somebody had something to do with them walking into the church. I'm curious to know, estoy curioso, porque ¿cuántos de ustedes, how many of you came to church, fueron salvos, you were saved, came to church because of somebody, por causa de alguien te invitó, whether it's a relative or a friend? Can you raise your hand? ¿Puede levantar su mano? Okay. ¿Cuántos de ustedes, how many of you solito, you just church by yourself, you just, okay, one, two out of 25. Okay. So if we're not inviting people, si no estamos saliendo, the numbers say that not many people are going to walk in the door. 2 out of 25, 4 out of 50, 6 out of 75, 8 out of 100. Not good. Okay. Por el otro lado, 23 out of 25, 23 de 25 entraron a la iglesia porque alguien, because somebody invited them. Okay. Las estadísticas no mienten. Entonces, el tráfico natural, natural traffic is you just sit back and let people walk in and let God miraculously bring them to church, and then generated traffic is when we have a part in it. Tenemos una parte en eso. 6% of growth in non-declining areas. La iglesia crece 6% in areas that are growing. Minneapolis here, this is not growing necessarily. Okay, este es un área, talking about a suburb where the houses are new, las casas son nuevas, nueva construcción, new construction. Churches grow 6% more, crecen 6% más en un área que está creciendo, in a growing church, and only 3% in a church in an area like ours that's stagnant, que está atorada. So con más razón, with more reason, not be complacent. Relax. Our location is not the greatest. Nuestro local, it looks like a house, parece una casa. Many people que les hemos dicho, hey, where Grace Baptist, where are you? They're on the corner. Nunca lo he visto. The place in front of the dog groomers, el lugar que está enfrente de oh, that's a church. Yeah, that's a church. Well, there's no sign, no hay letrero. Doesn't look like a church. It looks like an apartment. You agree? So, si nos esperamos, if we just wait for God to bring them, we're in trouble. Estamos en problemas. So, con más razón, with more reason, we have to generate traffic. Tenemos que trabajar en eso. Natural traffic primarily is about location and facilities. We cannot change the location. No podemos cambiar el local del edificio, but we could change the facilities. Maurice is here, and he said, last time he was here was 3 years ago, hace 3 años. And he said, ¿qué cambio? What a change. We've done a lot building on the inside. But how are we going to get people? ¿Cómo vamos a llegar que la gente entre? Right? No van a entrar, hermanos. They're not going to come on their own. Nobody is. Por más bonito que, as beautiful as it is, maybe 1 out of 100 is going to walk in on their own. ¿De qué nos sirve? What good is it to have a beautiful remodeled building if we're not being aggressive in compelling people to come? ¿De qué sirve? De nada. Really nothing. Because the purpose of remodeling was to be a good testimony, ser buen testimonio, not for us, but as a tool, como una herramienta people para alcanzar más gente. I was fine with the carpet personally. It didn't bother me one bit. Daniel Asma dijo, Pastor, I like the orange one better. Me gustaba el otro color mejor. But so we can't change no podemos cambiar el local, but we could improve the facility. Por eso en el verano, in the summer, it's important to have flowers. Y pintar, to paint, and to fix the outside. Because people see that and it's inviting, invita. Have you ever been by a house driving y ver una casa que the weeds are overgrown? Right? Okay, let's go door knock. Vamos a tocar puerta. And you see a house that's beautiful, pintadita, it's painted, there's flower pots. Te da confianza querer entrar. You want to knock on the door. It's inviting. Y luego hay casas, there's houses that you walk up like this. I'm serious. You tell the kids, you wait there, espérense ahí. I told my kids, wait there, I'm going to go. If anything happens, you run. Corre. Because you don't know, it's not inviting. So la iglesia, hermanos, tiene que ser inviting. The church has to, the facilities have to be well done. We have a lot of work to do there. Mucho trabajo que hacer ahí. Y algunos de ustedes, hermanos, you're gonna have to step up this summer and help with the outside and ladies make it look pretty. Uh, como que hay vida, as if there's life here. And again, the inside is no good if people are not gonna come inside. So generate traffic, para generar tráfico, there's two tools, hermanos: people, the spirit, the word actions of the people. We have to be kind, hermanos. The people. Most powerful tool, la herramienta más poderosa es personas. It's people, inviting other people. Miss Foster, la secretaria de finanzas, she's a financial secretary at First Baptist School. Her daughter works at the VA hospital. And I was breaking ice, estaba quebrando hielo, just working outside. She said, "Hi, Pastor Naya." And yo le enseñé, I taught her when she was in high school. She's now 34 years old, 33. And I said, "I know you." She says, long story short, she said, "Have you been to the coffee shop? ¿Ha ido al coffee shop que está aquí?" I said, "No, I've seen it, lo he visto, but I haven't been there." She said, "You should go, it's really good." ¿Saben? He said, "You know what I did? I went to the coffee shop." It's good, you should go. Y fui. Simple, right? Ahora, yo lo he visto, I pass by there all the time. You pass by there. But when somebody says something, it's different, right? So they got a customer. And by the way, the apple fritter was amazing. The coffee was great. So now I told you, ahora le dije a ustedes, now you're going to go, right? And now she's going to want to go. And what I'm trying to say, people are the tool. Las personas son la herramienta to get people in the door. People. The number one tool is people. People with a good spirit, people usando palabras, acciones. La herramienta más poderosa es personas. Look at John chapter 1, por favor. Y versículo Juan 1:41. John chapter 1 and verse 41. Juan 1:41. ¿Cuándo es la última vez? Y no lo digo esto para hacerle sentir mal. I'm not saying this to make you feel bad, but when is the last time you invited somebody to church? Invitaste a alguien a la iglesia. O les dijiste, or you told them about church. Juan 1:41. Dice la Biblia, versículo 41, yo primero, pastors that were asked, se le preguntaron a pastores, what was the most effective method in generating guests? Dijeron esto, the personal invitation from someone they know. Una invitación personal de alguien que sabes. Okay. Daryl, mi vecino, vino for the, he just came for the food, pero he came. And y trajo a su novia, and he brought his girlfriend. Now they're both like 70 years old. But if you would have probably wouldn't have came. He doesn't know you. But he came because he knows me. So si cada quien, if everybody invites somebody they know, it's easier to get somebody in church that you already know, que ya conoces. Paul Taylor, Pastor Taylor, 10,000 invitations, 10,000 invitaciones, years ago before we were here, en esta, 10,000 invitations on doors. Y me dijo, you know how many people came to church? 0. 10,000. Nadie. That says something. But you can invite one person you know, and they'll come to church. Think about it. Lo que no hicieron 10,000 folletos, what 10,000 invitations did not do, you can do by inviting somebody you know to church. That's the advantage. Tener esto. Now, estas son las estadísticas. 10,000 people were surveyed. 10,000 personas fueron interrogadas o una encuesta. And 2% of people came to church was because of a special need, por una necesidad especial. 2%. 3% walked in. 3% entraron caminando por su propia cuenta. 6% were invited by the pastor. Fueron invitados por el pastor. 1% fue por la visitación, was visitation on a church. Now, that doesn't mean invitation doesn't work. But I'm proving the point. Estoy comprobando el punto que we have to be aggressive. Necesitamos ser agresivos porque estas otras cosas, the numbers are very little. The numbers are very small. Banners, letreros, flyers, wonderful. But they don't generate guests. Esas cosas simplemente preparan el camino. They just prepare the way. They're tools, but we can't rely on. No podemos descansar nada más en eso. Okay? And then it says Sunday school class, 5%. Crusades, the Billy Graham crusades, cruzadas evangelísticas, 5%. Programas de Easter programs, Christmas programs, 3%. Now get this, 79%, 79% de personas que entraron a la iglesia, that walked into a church, was because a friend or a relative invited them. 79%. So let's do a Christmas program. Woohoo! 2%. Easter Sunday. Wonderful. 3%. O vamos a esperar, let's just wait for people to go through a crisis in their life. 2%. Or we can be aggressive, o podemos nosotros hacerlo, 79%. Right? I'm giving you numbers, dando números. 10,000 people that said, I went to church. 79 people went to church because somebody, a friend or a relative, invited them, los invitó. Aparte de eso, besides that, very small numbers happen to come in divinamente. So, we're going to have Neighbor Day. Vamos a tener Día del Vecino. And we'll have Coworker Day and Family Day. And then there's tools, hay herramientas, a church sign. You ever see how many signs, cuántos letreros hay everywhere? 35%. Dicen 35% of people that go to a restaurant go because of the sign, van por el letrero. We have a good sign outside. Have you seen it? ¿Lo han visto? There's no sign. The only sign is a banner. Es un cartulón that's been there for 2 years. Most people drive up and down the street. By the way, we're in a good street. You know, they have no idea this is a church. So one of the things este año que viene that we want to do pretty quick is get a sign. We need a sign. Tal vez va a costar unos $20,000, probably be about $15,000, $20,000. But the thing about a sign, hermanos, it pays for itself, se paga solo, and it works 24 hours a day. Trabaja las 24 horas al día. It's constantly working. Está trabajando. And so, hermanos, estoy diciendo que all of these things work, but none of it takes the place of people inviting people. People inviting people. 85% of people find the church via the internet, the Facebook, the website. Dicen que el website, they say the website is the lobby of the church. Most people, la mayoría de las personas, check church online before they actually visit it. No hacemos eso con restaurantes. That's what I do. I go on Google and I type tacos locos or whatever the restaurant is, and I look at pictures. Y si las fotos me convencen, if the pictures convince me, then I'll go and I'll look at the ratings. Si no, I'm not going to waste my time driving. Yo no voy. So the internet is the lobby of the church. Antes, people would step in the church before and then realize, yeah, I want to. Now they made up by looking. You agree? ¿Está de acuerdo? ¿Alguien más usa el internet? Does anybody else use the internet the same way? Airbnbs, fotos, pictures, verbals, cabañas, hotels. You ever see a hotel room? They got about 50 pictures, 50 fotos en un hotel. And you look at pictures, Y si te convence, if it convinces you, I'll go. How's our website? ¿Cómo está nuestro website de la iglesia? It's okay. Hermana Nikki, a little bit out there. Creo que está un poquito anticuado. We need to improve. Dice, Pastor, these are tools. Son herramientas. Yes, hermanos. They're tools, but again, they don't take the place. We could have a great website. We could have activities, a beautiful building, un hermoso edificio, pero si no estamos nosotros, if we're not doing this, people are not going to come. No van a venir. Here's another statistic. Churches that are active, they have many more visitors. Okay? Muchos visitantes. Pero iglesias, no, non-healthy churches retienen más personas. They retain more people. And the reason is this. This is a very interesting dato. You know why they're retaining their converts? Because a lot of the converts are our kids, son nuestros niños. You know who's getting saved? The 4-year-olds, los de 5 años, 6 años. They have to come to church. So we say, we had 10 tuvimos 10 bautizados este año. We had 10 baptized. Yeah, they were all 8, 9, 10. Yeah, they have to come to church. That's why we kept 10 out of 10. Pero ¿cuántos son adultos? How many are adults? And so, la llave, hermanos, es consistencia. The key is consistency. Consistency. A church can take 2 approaches, and I'm done, hermanos. Termina. I wanted to hablar un poquito con ustedes. Una iglesia puede tomar 2 approaches. Número 1, allow God to do it. Permitir que Dios lo haga. Natural traffic. O permitir que otros lo hagan. Allow other people to do it. Hey, hubieron 3 visitas. We had 3 visitors on Sunday. I think they were hermano Felipe's friends, conocidos del hermano Felipe. Woohoo, we had 3 visitors. Now, can you imagine, se imagina, if all of us invited people? Right? Hubieran 6 visitantes, 6 visitors, 7 visitors, 8 visitors, 9. We can let God do it. Podemos dejar que Dios lo haga. Focus on the tools. Enfocarnos en el edificio. Focus on the building, on the website, on the banners, on the signs, and all of that's wonderful. Or we can obey the Bible, obedecer la Biblia, and compel them, forzarlos a entrar. Or we can do both, hacer las dos cosas. I'll be honest with you, es más fácil. It's easier to focus on the tools. It's easier to do a website. It's easier to do a building. Es más fácil poner un banner, live stream. Porque that's not spiritual. Es más difícil, it's harder, it's more challenging having to go and speak to people, hablar con gente. And so, hermanos, I want to encourage you, quiero animarles, hermanos, to be confrontational, hermanos. Be purposeful. Recuerde los tiempos. Remember the times where you carried tracts with you. Cargabas folletos contigo at the store, gas station, donde quiera que ibas. You had them in your purse. Y repartías, and you hand them to people. And then COVID came and stay away. 6 feet. And we stopped doing it. Lo dejamos de hacer. And nunca empezamos. We didn't start again. Hermanos, we need to get back. Necesitamos regresar a ser purposeful. To get people to walk in the doors and hear the gospel, escuchar el evangelio. Si no lo hacemos, hermano, people, I'm telling you, they're not going to walk in. Not going to walk in. And eventually, lo que va a pasar, if we lose people, se va gente. And in 15 years, vamos a quedar, be about 15, 20 of us maybe. We're going to have a beautiful building, empty. So, les animo, hermanos, I encourage you. Okay, I'm going to do it. I need to do it. We all need to do it. Necesitamos estar haciéndolo. Okay? Numbers don't lie, hermanos. Números no mienten. Vamos a orar. Let's ask the Lord to help us as we take serious este mandato de forzarlos a entrar. Let's pray. Lord, thank you so much for that person, esa persona, I think of Gerald Price, ese americano, that English speaking man that knocked on our door, que nos took us to church on that bus. Y el tío, that uncle of ours that invited my mom to church when she got saved and took her to church and she got saved, and all these years later, todos estos años después, lo que tú hiciste, because one man invited one lady to church. Un hombre invitó a una mujer a la iglesia. ¿Y quién iba a decir que de esa familia, from that family, tú ibas a hacer lo que has hecho por tu gracia? Señor, ayúdanos a despertar. Help us to awaken from our comfort and our negligence, nuestra negligencia como cristianos. Ayúdanos a ver el mundo como tú lo ves. Help us to see the world as you see it. A dying world in need of Christ. Un mundo de necesidad de Cristo. Obra, por favor, Señor, trae avivamiento. We ask that you bring revival first in our hearts, in our own hearts, en nuestros propios corazones. Y luego en la iglesia, and then in church. That souls would be saved and people would return to church, experimentan la iglesia como debe de ser, as it should be. Ayúdanos a ser fieles, help us to be faithful in this area. Hermanos, I hope you prayed. Espero que usted haya orado esta noche igual y se haya decidido that you would decide to be faithful. Oramos todo esto, te damos gracias, Señor. Ayúdanos, por favor, en Cristo Jesús. Amén.